Though 1,000 times 1,000 in battle one may conquer, yet should one conquer just oneself, one is the greatest conqueror. Buddha Shakyamuni. There are places on this planet that have been filled with some special energies over thousands of years. There you can learn the truth about your own nature faster and find a way that will take you to self-realization in this incarnation. Mount Kailash, the wisdom of centuries. Our journey began with a meeting of our big and friendly group at the airport. With some people we met for the first time, others we have known for many years, and yet others for many lives. At the very first meeting one could feel friendly and positive mindset of the participants. When we arrived at the Beijing airport, we still had a several hours layover before our next flight to the capital of Tibet, Lhasa, and so we decided not to waste our time and began practicing now, singing mantra Om. Beijing Shoudu Airport. Flight Beijing Lhasa. Practicing mantra, the time has passed quickly, and here we are in the great Lhasa. Our Tibetan guide picks us up and we are heading to Samye, the oldest monastery in Tibet. Samye Monastery. Over the first couple days we had an adaptation to the new altitude. We have already reached the altitude of 3,500 meters, but we remained firm and strong. Next morning we went to the service in the monastery. There we had quite a nice time for individual spiritual practices. Some read mantras, others did pranayama, and yet others simply watched monks sing sutras. After that, we went on excursion around the monastery, followed by a traditional practice singing mantra Om in one of the halls.
I'm Rich. He's also found it.
The first Buddhist monastery in Tibet was built around 1300 years ago. There is an opinion why Songda-tseng asked Padmasambhava to participate in the construction of the monastery. When he tried to build the monastery by himself in order to spread Buddha teachings over Tibet, he failed. Then he was advised to invite Padmasambhava to help him in this undertaking. Some people say, and I agree with them, that Padmasambhava was just an emanation of Buddha Shakyamuni that came to this planet to save the way of self-perfection. Tibet was chosen purposefully. It is this place where it was prescribed to save many teachings for the future generations. It was not easy to build Samye. What people tried to build during a day, the demons would destroy overnight. And Padmasambhava was the one who used knowledge and not the force to explain to them that it is better to cooperate than to resist. Since that time there is a quote: "It might be difficult to raise a large stone, but united a few people would do it with ease." Padmasambhava. In the evening, we decided to do another short trip and climb a little higher to a hill next to the monastery, from where there was a wonderful panoramic view over the monastery. Here we also had a chance to practice pranayama and meditation. Altitude 3,700 meters. The next day we moved on to Lhasa, and on our way there we visited one of Padmasambhava's caves in Chimpu, which served us as another altitude to practice climbing before Kora. There we also had a chance to do yoga while the altitude was still not too high, and the energies of famous yogis and yoginis facilitated our self-growth. All the places related to Padmasambhava are marked with a special energy, and the places where he used to practice yoga became the places of pilgrimage long ago. One of such places is the Chimpu cave. You can even see an amazing mark of Tisong Datsen's body that have been left here since his time. Lhasa. And here we are in Lhasa, a wonderful bright city. You can still see here some locals doing prostration right on the ground, on the street next to the temple, or the oldest statue of Buddha brought here from India as part of a Chinese princess dowry, and also an amazing statue of Tara, which it is impossible to stop looking at. Standing next to her, one feels as if she is alive and is indeed on her way to help all the living beings. The next day we visited Patala, the winter residence of Dalai Lama, which is a museum in the summertime. In the morning and in the evening we practiced yoga on the roof of the hotel. The altitude is still not that high, and so practice goes easily. I have been watching this city for 12 years and I can certainly see some changes, but the temples here are simply full of self-perfection energy. The yogis have been keeping alive and cherishing the traditions of the ancient mystics here for hundreds of years. Here in Patala, the energies of every Dalai Lama, the holders of Buddha's teachings, have been preserved. Gyangtse, Shigatse. Then our group moved on to Shigatse. On the way there, we stopped at a wonderful town, Gyangtse, famous for its ancient temple Gyangtse and Stupa Kumbum, with its 108 rooms and Buddha statues in each of them. In this famous stupa, there is a special room on the top floor. There is a statue of Buddha and his disciples in there. All the statues are made very artistically, so one can even tell the different nationalities of the students by their faces. There are disciples from Africa, some Scandinavians. Interestingly, among the students, there is Rahat Tvakula. His name is still known in the Ukraine. Based on this, one can make a conclusion about how far the Buddha's teachings have been spread. And our temples in Kalmykia, Buryatia in Russia are also not just a coincidence. In the afternoon we reached Shigatse. We checked in a nice hotel and went on excursion in the city's main monastery, Tashilumpo. In this monastery there is the biggest statue of Buddha Maitreya. The road. Saga, Shigatse district. The old destroyed monastery. We are getting closer and closer to Kailash, and the landscapes around us are getting more and more wonderful. We are constantly on the way, but thanks to the good organization of our trip, everything is going nice and smooth, and we even have time to stop and practice contemplation. We observe the road, the mountains, the plains, the sky, the clouds, the sun, the lakes. It is wonderful indeed. We really like the stops where we can chat, share emotions, take pictures. Some of us, more experienced yogis, prefer not to waste the energy on small talks and gave the vow of silence at the time of our trip.
Buddham saranam gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam
The hotel in Guge. The Sutlej River. Guge. One of these days we visited the capital of the oldest kingdom, Guge, located at the altitude of 3,500 meters. We walked through numerous chambers of the Tsaporang Palace and ancient cave cities of Dungar and Puyang.
Дунгар и Пуянг. The destroyed library in the temple. Some words about Guge Kingdom. The great number of caves around the monastery indicates the multitude of ancient ascetics who practiced yoga here in solitude, as it was prescribed by Buddha himself to make the self-perfection more effective and find the answers to the challenging questions of this particular life. Om Mani Padme Hum. Once again, we are on the road to the holy mountain Kailash. On our way, we visited famous Garuda Valley, which impresses us with its wonderful sights. People say that Russian tourists like this place a lot for bright and colorful pictures that can be taken here. Well, I'm not sure that the best pictures are made here in Garuda Valley. I studied some manuscripts about these places, which have been preserved till our time, and I can tell that what the manuscripts say is not quite that joyful as it is usually described in advertising materials. Here, there was one of the capitals of the ancient Tibet where so-called Pagan religion was dominating. The religion was famous for bloody rituals. One can read more about it in the book called The 100,000 Days of Milarepa, which will give a fuller picture of that time. Sarovar. The next stop is Manasarovar, the holy lake, the symbol of light. The altitude is already 4,500 meters. There is a legend that a woman that went into this lake will get a chance to give birth to a highly spiritual child. According to one of the legends, when in Lumbini Mahamaya gave birth to Buddha Shakyamuni, the gods took her and her newborn child to this lake to wash his body. The distance between Lumbini and this lake is about 1,000 kilometers, but gods can make it in a moment. There is a chain of caves right nearby, in one of which Padmasambhava practiced yoga before leaving this world. As a tradition, here we practice yoga too. Here one can quickly achieve a mystical spiritual experience. Kora. And here begins Kora, the round work around holy Kailash. The altitude 4,900 meters. Sherlung Chu River. On the first day, we walked about 18 kilometers. Our first camp is located across the northern side of Kailash. Some of the participants decided to go and touch the northern side of Kailash. It is only about 300 meters walk, but it takes 3-4 hours even for the experienced travelers. As the guys returned, they shared emotions about how it felt like to reach and touch Kailash, and their eyes were sparkling. Altitude 5,300 meters. Nikolai Rusakov. To be honest, you don't feel the time here. We had a goal and we kept on going. We tried to go as a group, not to leave anyone behind. We had a leader and the last person, and so we reached Kailash as a group like that. So we all took pictures there, touched it, felt the energy and power. At first I couldn't believe that I'm here, and now I don't want to believe that I have to leave the special places. Yes, of course, it's not easy to walk at such a high altitude, but the hard work that the participants are doing here will pay off once they get back home. I wouldn't like to talk about the mysticism of this place without any material proof. But the energies, the feelings, the thoughts, this is something that anybody can experience. Here one has no gloomy thoughts at all. On the second day, we walked 22 kilometers and crossed the Dronlala mountain pass, the mountain pass of Green Tara, the highest point of the journey, 5,600 meters. The walk over the mountain pass symbolizes a new birth and getting rid of your past karma. The mountain pass was not easy at all for some of us, but everybody tried his best and we encouraged each other. This mountain pass is a good self-challenge.
There, you leave all your weaknesses, illnesses, and obscurations. Bad energies that are active in your day-to-day life back home are unlikely to survive this mountain pass, and you return from here newborn. On the third day, we walked 12 kilometers. After 22 yesterday, this seemed like a joke for many of us. Once again, we observe wonderful landscapes as we are walking. Sometimes the views are fantastic and real. And the Kora is over now. We are heading back to Darchen, where the participants, fresh and happy, continue chatting and share emotions. One of our good friends, which often travels with us, keeps the statistics. How Kora affects your life. He says that the majority of the participants will experience new positive changes in their life in about half a year after Kora. And here we are in Great Kathmandu. The altitude is about 1300 meters above the sea level. We all feel an emotional uprise. At the end of the journey, we gathered together for a farewell meeting and shared emotions. Many say that individual yoga practice feels different here, and that you always want to come back to places like this. Most memorizable, of course, was Kora around Kailash, but also group discussions, lectures, talks and mantra Om singing. Everybody went home looking forward to positive changes, with new thoughts and expectations. For me, as a yoga teacher with a pretty intense practices, visiting these places and doing Kora is that source of energy that gives me power and inspiration to implement new projects and plans and to maintain my personal yoga practice at a decent level. One may wonder, what relation can the Russians have to Tibet? But as we can see, the methods of self-perfection that have been saved in Tibet were also very common in our country at that time. The more we study the subject, the more proofs we find. Yes, we now have different languages, habits, national holidays, but the ornaments of the Russian North and Tibet are interconnected. The patterns, the solar signs are the same and haven't changed over thousands of years. Our countries are now far away from each other, but the self-perfection methods are very similar. Learning this country will remind us about what we have forgotten about ourselves and will help us understand the world around us and find our way in it. If you have a chance to join a similar trip, do not lose this chance. See you soon!